You guys should come in and just do a straight Inferno class. That would be hysterical.
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be if we went,
because it's more of the vibe of like what was happening the other day, where it was like kind of, well, you didn't shut up the whole time.
Boom! As soon as you sit down, and I didn't say anything, Jesse. I didn't say a word.
But it's more of that vibe. It's like more, it's a little bit more of like a.
Guy fucking got me right away. He's like, boom! How about that, buddy?
What did you do to prepare yourself for this?
Absolutely nothing.
Prepare. What is preparation?
I don't know.
Except the one with the H.
Do I smile?
Whatever you want to do.
I really am only here just in case Kurt dies. You know, just cold dibs on the funeral.
I'm not going to be able to do a pose or 2 or 21.
What is it, child's pose? That's the one I want to do the whole time.
The first time I did the 90-minute jam, I was like, no big deal. I'm a tough guy. And I went scrambling out of there crying like a little bitch.
The first time I did it here, I did leave the room.
I'm nervous about pain.
I feel like I'm gonna melt. I'm made of chocolate, you know?
You're going to be able to make it through the whole thing? Just walking out?
Yeah.
How much butt crack are we seeing in this?
I'm nervous.
Yours or mine?
You know what I'm nervous about? I'm nervous about farting. What's your biggest fear in this room?
I'm just looking forward to seeing you in action.
I'm nervous.
You are?
You doing that, it makes me nervous.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
You're the boss. Tell them the rules.
What are these for?
The socks and the hat gotta go.
I thought that was gonna grip with the socks. Smell, Jesse? It's awesome. I'm not breathing. I'm not breathing. I swear I'm not breathing. Go ahead, Jesse. Do it, Jesse. No. What do you got? What do you got? I'm not breathing again.
It actually feels kind of nice.
Exhale, forward fold, eyes to the shin.
Jesse, I'm doing way more extra shit than you.
I feel like I'm going to give birth. You fucking amazing, Kurt. Look at him.
What was the hardest part?
It was watching you.
Am I gonna be sore tomorrow? My hips hurt a lot.
I'm happy it's over.
This shirt used to be a different color.
willingness to try. That's all you need is willingness to try.
The whole middle part from like 10 minutes in to like the last 10 minutes, I really struggled with that.
I liked it when it got hotter.
Why do you immediately dance every time this camera comes
I
on?
just feel loosey-goosey.
I can't believe people pay for this.
I was really impressed by Kurt. He did better than I expected. You could have stepped it up a little bit.
I'm a sweater. It was going in my eyes, my ears, my mouth.
Learn to deal with the heat before they start really going full force.
You forget that you're supposed to breathe.
I get so in my head about if I'm doing it right.
Yes.
That's probably another episode of the show, or a different show completely, or something from my therapist.
This made me want to maybe get back in the game.
You guys are having fun. That's all that matters.
I like the sweat. I like the sweat, but it was hard.
So they just want to go there and be in the heat and not really do the class?
Everybody kind of has their own reasons for showing up. Like for some people, it's their social hour, you know, and some people just need a community. It's different because the styles that we come from are very focused on structure and doing asana correctly and,
Discipline.
you know, and discipline. And when people come in that way, and there's plenty of styles you can take that aren't as disciplined, but when you come into a disciplined practice and you kind of approach it without the discipline and without the strive to learn an asana and how to do it correctly and be present with it and breathe into it, and you're just kind of there to be there for whatever reason, which I don't knock that.
Right.
You kind of have to accept it, you know, rather than fight against it, because it will just kind of drive you.
I kind of felt like, not knowing anything about yoga, I kind of felt like people going to yoga class was that headstrong from get-go. I didn't think that there would be like willy-nillys like walking in.
There's like, it's funny because there's like all spectrums of it. Like there's a whole spectrum of it. But I think like what I'm saying is you and I have been practicing for so long. We're like the elders now.
Yeah. I mean,
So there's like this new vibe that's come in where everybody's it's very popular and it's very social media driven.
100%.
That's what's happening right now. Inferno Hot Pilates has become extremely popular and the classes are like packed out and we really could use a second room. We learned a lot moving into that space.
Yeah.
And the people love it. They love the Inferno because it makes them so strong and it's such a good HIIT workout. But really at a core, we're a yoga studio. So we want, another room.
Not to sound dumb, but what is Pilates? I've heard of it. I just don't know what it is. Is it totally different than yoga?
It's more like strength work. The Inferno Pilates that we do, it's like kind of a hybrid of like Pilates and like a HIIT workout.
There he is.
Hey, how's it going?
What's it doing?
We're talking about Inferno Pilates. And when you say Inferno, you mean just the heat room, right?
It's hot, yeah.
Okay.
We actually bring the heat down a little bit from like the hot yoga to the Inferno, just because it is you're working hard.
You guys should come in and just do a straight Inferno class. That would be hysterical.
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be if we went,
because it's more of the vibe of like what was happening the other day, where it was like kind of, well, you didn't shut up the whole time.
Boom! As soon as you sit down. And I didn't say anything, Jesse. I didn't say a word.
But it's more of that vibe. It's like it's a little bit more of like a.
Guy fucking got me right away. He was like, boom! How about that, buddy? That's my job, man.
I hear it. It's my job. And you're very good at it.
So Inferno Pilates is just heat room.
Yeah, and we
like,
get like more pumping. Like we play like rap music and EDM music, and we're doing like strength work, like mountain climbers, burpees. And it's more like kind of club aspect, more a little bit more of a party than a yoga class.
Okay. How many burpees do you think I could do? Good Lord.
Dude,
I don't know, Kurt. Every time we think you can't do something, you wind up fucking doing it. And doing it better than everybody else. It's kind of his game.
I'm not gonna lie, like I was like Kurt's a sleeper in the room. I was kind of in the back corner watching you guys practice. No, the woman next to me to the left, I believe her name was Alicia.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, behind us. Right?
Alyssa. Was it Alyssa or Alicia?
It
was Alicia. Yeah.
Alicia had a solid, beautiful practice, and then I was looking up at Kurt, and the way you were moving, I was like, this man is actually gonna put himself into like a king pigeon right now. Yeah. When I went up,
what's that? Is that the move that you helped me with?
Yeah, I was pigeon, like, I'm like, he's gonna bind his arm back, and I'm gonna watch this human the first time he really comes into a hot yoga room. That's like the most amazing part.
King pigeon?
No, like watching people
like me
that like have. They don't think they can.
Yeah.
But the body is the most beautiful thing that we have. Like, it's so smart and it moves so well, and a little bit of body awareness and a little bit of emotional intelligence, and you could do anything.
He was freaking out. He was nervous as shit.
Of course King Pigeon might be my boxing name, by the way. I'm not sure. I might
Kurt King Pigeon Snacks.
Kapata Raja Kapatasana. I'll put a Sanskrit tattoo on you.
Yeah. See that?
We're tatting him up. That's it.
I was on it.
We're gonna mark Kurt up.
The 10 minutes in, I realized right away that if you don't know how to breathe, you're gonna have a really, really hard time, and that scared me. That really scared me, and that's what was like. I don't know when I'm supposed to breathe in and breathe out. It was hard.
Just you're always supposed to breathe in.
Yeah, I know, but you were saying like
I was saying like inhale here,
yeah,
exhale there.
There was marks that you were supposed to do it, and I was definitely missing it.
Yeah.
Like 100%, and that's what I thought I was gonna just like die on.
Yeah.
That's what I felt.
Well, there's also like a technique that we use inside of like hot yoga called Ujjayi. And Ujjayi breathing actually holds all the chemicals in the body stable so you don't gas. So in a former life, I used to be a part of like the wrestling community and stuff. And like the worst thing you can do is mouth breathe, because then you gas yourself out. You got nothing left, right? You got to control your breathing. So Ujjayi comes from like the back of the throat, and it negates the sinus cavities. It draws you in to a whole different level. And then you can kind of hone. It's like where you build your endurance.
Yeah,
wrestling like WWE or wrestling like the sport?
The sport.
Oh, that's cool. You're a wrestler?
No, I'm not, but I've been around a couple. I'd rather not talk about it.
I think we should move on.
All right.
But Yeah.
That's cool though.
But when I used to watch them and knowing from like yoga and stuff, and you just watch people and they
Well, no, the breath's the whole thing.
they
That's
don't
a
have
big
anything
thing.
left. But when you move with intention in your breath, you can, and you get more power.
You do a lot.
Yeah.
Like when you do jujitsu, you're not breathing.
It's all about that.
Right, you're not breathing out of your mouth,
when you-
right? Right.
That's like when you always see like big muscle guys will come in and try. And the first thing that happens is they freak out. Some little guy that's on top of them, and they're just like, and then they gas out in seconds, and then it's over. And they don't understand that like that's the breath is the first place to start.
Well, those are the same guys that usually pass out in hot yoga too, because they come in and they try to do yoga like they're bench pressing and they're muscling through it, and then they have all these skinny chicks in front of them that are just killing it, and then they don't want to sit down when they're lightheaded because it's ego, and then the next thing you know they're spiraling, and you're like, I have to go over them and be like, sit down and don't get up until I tell you.
I had that experience. I did it. This is years ago. I did a 90-minute Bikram class, and I went into it thinking like, there's gonna be no big deal, and I had to leave the room the first time. I mean, it was way hotter than what you guys had.
Yeah,
it was way hotter than what you guys had, and it was into the second like. I think I made it through the first 60 minutes, but then once I got into that last half hour, there was moments to where like I couldn't get my breath. And I think the ego part of like trying to keep up, because I walked in there thinking like, not that I didn't have the expectation that I would be like good at it or anything. But I think I had the expectation that it wouldn't be
a problem
as challenging as it was. And then like you said, it's a room full of women. And I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to do it. And then there was a point where I was just like, and I had to leave the room. I had to leave the room.
Well, when you don't know what you don't know, and when you go into something blind, you don't know what your 75% is.
Yes.
So like you tell people like when they come and they're in repetition, like, and they get to start to understand their body in a different way. You're like, okay, start at 75, build yourself up to 80, go to 95, and then max out at the end. Like build it slow. Like when you come at something at 115, you got nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's like starting a marathon with a sprint. You know? It's like you're just gonna.
Do you guys like? What's the dude? Who's the guy who got a little Indian guy that made a lot of trouble? Bikram, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Now are you guys like from that crew, or are you guys not?
So I did Bikram's training. I did his training in 2008, and
like
fall.
with him.
Yeah, like he was at my
You ever see the documentary?
I know he like stands on people. And
He's a wild boy.
Yeah, he's wild. So I was in Mexico. My training was 9 weeks long.
Okay.
And I was in Mexico for that, and we did 2 classes a day that were like 2 hours or more. And you would be up, like I think our first class is at 8 a.m., but you would get up early to study, and then you could be going until 11 o'clock or even like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you had to be back at class at 8 a.m. But he was wild. And when I was at my training, that's kind of when everything started coming out.
Okay.
You know?
Well, Mexico is where he moved after he got in trouble, right?
Yeah, he ran. I think he was in Mexico. I think he was in Thailand. I think the recent trainings are in Thailand, but like he can't come back to the United States. Like he immediately goes to jail if he does.
It was like a cult thing.
A little bit.
A lot of stuff like that, you know, that are like we were saying before, like lineage practices, like they can become culty, and you know, it's like anything. Like when someone becomes somebody that everybody is idolizing, and the money comes in, and the people love them, and the people want to meet them and see them. It's
screw anybody up.
It just takes over, and then they kind of can go either in a very bad way, or they can take it to a good place and actually help people. And he took advantage of it, you know, and
Bikram is such a healing practice.
Oh, it's amazing.
And that's why it's such a lower body bound practice, that it heals the knees, it heals the hips, it gives people like thoracic spine flexibility and shows them just consistency and discipline. And that's like the sad part. It's like you're healing so many people. why can't you just hold it together? Because the whole practice is about detaching from your ego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, if we could answer that
ego.
question, it'd be a whole different world of humans.
Yeah,
No, it's hard to keep your shit together, man.
Yeah, no, totally.
With the cult, without the cult.
I know.
And there was
It's just
pushback from
like-
students at the time. Like some people like were like, I can't do this practice anymore. And, you know, we were like trying to be like, it's still the practice. It's still the same sequence. Like the yoga works, like it's healing, it's therapeutic. The good thing about that practice is it's accessible to anybody, you know, like rather than being like a more aggressive form or something that's, you know, too challenging, you know, for people. And some people left for a while and then they came back because they couldn't stay away from it, you know, so.
Is the basic, I might sound naive, but is the basic idea to relieve stress and tightness, and or is it like way more than
Well,
that?
it gets super philosophical.
Well, yeah,
Like if you trace it all the way back to the...
Yeah, but besides like the mind, well, I guess that's a really important part, right?
It really depends on what people need from it, you know?
Well, when so when
I
you
get
look
that.
at yoga, like people come, so everyone comes to the practice who's supposed to be practicing, and then they start moving. And so I guess the philosophical idea, right, is they say that yoga is to yoke. So the actual word in Sanskrit means to the union of the breath and movement, like vinyasa. That's what vinyasa is, breath and movement.
Okay.
So then there's 8 limbs, and they keep on moving towards transcendental movement, like how Buddhists go. So you kind of move towards the philosophical idea, and the spiritual idea is we burn the heat, you burn your samskara, your catches from a former life. So all your karma, you burn it off through the practice, so you give freedom to the ego, you unattach, and you're able to move. So like Ashtanga, the practice I practice, like it goes to the 8 limbs, and that's like the whole idea is you heat the body from the inside, you move the blood, you detoxify the body completely, so you can actually learn your body, and then you can understand how to get the ego out, because it is so hard in the upper practice. You can't attach to how you did that day. You have to just no ego, and then you start to control your mind better. So like the second sutra is Yoga Siddha Vritti Nirodha.
I would fail this class. I would fail right away because I can't remember
so
any of these.
I only practice.
I
only practice to stop the revolution of my mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's moving meditation.
Poses,
So Sanskrit is the international language of yoga. So like that, Sanskrit's the basis of yoga. So like the sutras are all in Sanskrit. So when you go to the practice, they teach you Yoga Siddha Vritti Nirodha. You're only here to stop your mind from moving. So when you were in the room and you kept on coming up with your voice, right? Your central nervous system is throwing you out instead of taking you in.
Yeah.
So you're coming out of body instead of going inner body.
Right, because he was so nervous about how good I was doing.
Well, Kurt was the ringer, so we didn't know.
My whole objective was to get to razz Kurt and get.
I asked him what the hardest part of
And
hot
you
yoga.
didn't. You had shoulders
I asked him what the hardest part of hot yoga was. He said, "Looking at you, doing it right next to you."
So how long have you been in martial arts?
Almost a decade, maybe a little jiu-jitsu for almost a decade, and then a little bit longer than that, like doing just some MMA and stuff like that.
Wow.
I meditate and all kinds of stuff. So I definitely understand the benefits of. But the question is yoga Hindu and Buddhist? Does it cross, or is it just Buddhist?
It depends. Like there's Buddhist rites, which are the movements of how they ground themselves to meditate in like that tradition. Yeah, it's not, you see, like yoga's not a religion. It's just like part of moving toward being able to ground, to get deeper into the transcendental state.
Which is kind of like what Buddhism is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I would think that with martial arts, like you would also work your mobility as well, right? Because I would think that's very important for you
stretch,
guys.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I walked in that day fucking jammed up. Like my shoulders have been really bad, and I felt a lot better coming out.
Yeah,
made me think I gotta look you guys up a little deeper. I live right on a block too.
Let's go.
You'll like the vinyasa classes. The vinyasa classes are really good for lengthening the muscles. Even the Bikram's amazing too.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bikram is it's challenging, but we keep it pretty basic. So, like I was saying before, it's just accessible. So if someone's overweight or they don't really have a fitness background or they have some injury stuff that they're working through, there's enough of that practice that they can do to start healing their body to eventually get to a place where they can start doing everything, as long as there's consistency behind it.
That was my next question. Like, getting back to the people that walk in the public, do they come in and they just say, I want to do Bikram, that's it, because I've seen it on TV, I want to do Bikram? Or do you guys try and kind of understand them and tell them what they should take? Because there's so many different classes.
Well, I think people may come to their first class to do a specific style because maybe it was recommended to them.
Right.
I encourage people to try everything, and see what they connect to. And I also know that all the different practices have different benefits, so
how many different forms you guys offer?
Same in that weird language.
8.
No,
Ashta.
We do a bunch, like a lot of the forms that we offer are like a different variation of vinyasa, like we do like more restorative.
Vinyasa is like general yoga. Vinyasa is like the what most people know of yoga as yoga.
For the most part, so we'll do classes that are more intense or more restorative or a little slower. You're focusing more on holding a posture, and then some classes will move a little faster. And then we have Ashtanga, which is a set practice, and we have Bikram, which is a set practice, so there's definitely stuff for everybody, that can, and some people come in and they just want to do one style, and then a lot of times they get kind of tricked into doing another style. Like I have a lot of students that have come just for Bikram, and then they show up to like a hot and gentle class, which is more of a flow practice, and they thought it was going to be Bikram and it wasn't, and then they take it and they like it, and then they continue to do it, so some people are open to trying stuff, and some people it takes a little time of nudging or suggesting. Suggesting.
I got a question because you just cracked your ankle. Do you guys ever have body pain since you do these classes every day?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like you wouldn't.
So it's a joke. I wish I had the video. I probably have the video. I could probably have Elena send the video out. And one of the things that so in the practice of Ashtanga, you have to complete the asanas and graduate to a different system, and then complete those asanas and graduate. So I have such hypomobility in my ankles from lifting my body in a lotus position with my legs bound. So you go into an inversion, then you bring your legs into the cross-legged like lotus pose where you're all bound up. Then you come down and touch your knees to your elbows, and you fling your legs back and come out of the pretzel. I dislocated my right ankle.
Doing that
sounded like a gunshot throughout the room.
Really?
It popped back into joint. I stood up with no pain. Have it on video. It was like a whole thing in the studio. I was walking around and I'm like, I'm not in pain though, guys. I'm not in pain. Went to the orthopedist 2 days later. They're like, yeah,
it's fine.
Full-blown dislocation. All your ligaments are out of joint. We don't know what's going on, and we have no idea.
Did you have to get surgery?
No. They're like, we have no idea why everything, your ligaments are all stretched out, but you're completely back in alignment again, and you're feeling no pain. I bruised, right? And I was I was on like limited restrictive movement for about 3 weeks, and then I was fine.
That was it?
That was it. No PT, no nothing, just went back to practice. I was like, all right, I'll modify, but...
I dislocated my shoulder, and it was not like that.
Oh, well, your shoulder's an enormous joint.
Yeah, it was a bad scene, man. It was a real bad scene.
Oh, did they have to reset your shoulder?
Oh yeah, surgery, fucking, it was horrible. They had to cut my fucking clothes off of me to get me into an ambulance. Like, it was
Holy
wild.
shit.
It was like my shoulder came from here to down here. It was
Oh
like
my
fucking
God.
pumping out my chest. It was
That's
it was
really
Stuff
painful.
like that.
yeah, it was rough.
Were you practicing? Were you working out?
Yeah, I was
martial arts,
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Do people dislocate things during class?
You made me just remember
gonna
a story,
Yeah.
a time when I was teaching at a studio, and I had him in pigeon and
King pigeon?
not king.
Iko Patarasha
Just
Kapatasana.
Pigeon. That first part when we were just laying flat out over the leg, and she came up from there, and I don't know what she did, but her whole entire knee popped out, and like, I remember her being on her back, and we had to keep her leg in a 90-degree angle, and I'm holding her at the back of the knee, and her ankle like this, and I was holding her so long, I was shaking, and I was like, someone's gonna take her leg, someone's gonna take her leg, because anytime it like moved like a millimeter, she was like screaming.
Do people get hurt a lot?
No,
It's yeah. I mean, I don't know what she did. She also had just had a baby, and we were saying, you would know this better than me, that your joints can come like hypermobile, like after childbirth, because I guess like it's allowing your hips to open.
The
to,
endocrine system
yeah.
dumps all your relaxing chemicals into your body to open your joints.
Girls,
Yeah.
man.
So we were people were saying that it
know.
could just be that should, like her,
Please.
you know, she still had that deep mobility in her joints, and whatever, it just did not work out. You know, whether she came out incorrectly or whatever it was, but yeah, and we called an ambulance. We had to send her out. We couldn't even move her, you know. And
That's how it was for me.
There was like somebody that was a PT there. They were like, I can pop it back in. I'm like, no,
That's what I was asking. We had a cop.
I don't
was
know
like,
if the
dude, just
liability
hit me up
waiver
against the wall.
covers
Like,
that.
do it.
But yeah, I'm not
Wouldn't do
there. We're just going to
Well,
call the
'cause it's like you're
EMTs,
out
and
of
they're going
pain
to take
at
her
that
away
point.
and
You're
do
not
whatever
out of
they need to
pain.
do with
Official
it.
They
work.
reset
Yeah,
the
we were
joint.
like, hopefully we
You're,
don't
like,
get
in a
sued.
whole different place.
When it goes back in, the pain subsides
80%.
outrageously.
Oh, yeah.
80%.
Outrageously.
Yeah.
Like when it's out, it's like you want to die, and it goes back in, and it just goes like.
The
Yeah.
shoulder's a big joint.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
I wouldn't have been surprised if you had to call an ambulance on me. I thought my hip would have separated.
It was a wild experience.
So you're like the type of person, Kurt, like that comes into the room and you wish would stay.
Oh,
Because
I appreciate that.
You know, because you could see like the opportunity that it's not for everybody, and it's a way of life, and you have to like assimilate it. And what you just said, you have 4 kids, so like, come on, you probably don't have any time.
I'm barely allowed to come to here, and this is my job.
100%. Like, when do you have time to even like whatever? But like,
It's like reverse psychology trying to get you in.
No, but you're like the type of person that you
Yeah,
seek.
sold.
That's like the beauty of it, is when you see people come. I love when I see the husbands come with the wife and they've been pulled out of the house like crazy. And it's like, it was you that day. They're pulled to go, and you watch them and you're like, this person just came for like 6 weeks. It would be unbelievable
change.
how their body would take on the practice, because you had like that openness, like your body was moving. There was so
Yeah.
much body awareness, like, and wrestlers and people that had that, the husbands come and they're the best. The people that had like that type of sports background, and they come into the room and they're moving, and they can hear you, because that's the number one thing. It's when you're calling the asanas and people actually can listen and move with what you're saying. It's like another form of intelligence, right? So when they're moving and you're like right hand to right ankle, and people go boom right back, you're like, okay,
Right.
Totally.
like this is like, you got something to work with.
Yeah,
a
and
lot
it
of
is awesome when like you kind of see those, you know, somebody like that maybe the wife forced them to go there or pulled them there or continued to suggest it to them, and then they finally came after years, and then they come a couple more times, and then they start showing up by themselves, you know, and they start actually like
I actually told
wanting
Jen, I was
to
like,
be
you would
there.
like. I was like, you would.
She's
like
never
this.
done it?
She's done yoga, but not hot yoga. But I was like, it's kind of cool. You would kind of like it.
Yeah.
Because she's fit. I'm not.
Yeah.
But you know, it'd be tough to go. But I don't know. I'll take on any challenge. Keep on coming up with them, Jesse. So you wobble.
Inferno Hot Pilates next.
No, yeah, it's what?
And don't bring somebody that's like so good at being flexible next to you.
Who's that?
Yeah.
The girl. That
The girl from the city. Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I know. We tried to be doing like with Tita Hasta, and she like just like picked her leg up and like this. I was like, oh
what?
shit, look at this. You know,
Especially in that group of people, you're like, nobody's gonna be able to do this.
We didn't know what to expect.
Got
I
Vin
was
in
like,
that,
what's going on? And then you guys showed up and you guys were like, I was like, all right, here we go.
Well, at first we were gonna do the 26 and 2, but we were saying like it's just such a disciplined practice, and I was like, I feel like maybe we should do something that's a little bit more like loose, you know, and like have a little bit more
We're
fun.
a loose crew.
Yeah, rather than be like being there like almost like a drill sergeant trying to like really get you guys to work. Like let's just have some fun and, you know, dance around a little bit, you know.
It was fun, and it was interesting in the people that did know how to do something, like the girl that was behind me, Sean's girl. Like that was and then Vin, he's just
Vin did all right, I think.
He
right?
did good. Yeah, he
did all
stayed
right.
with it. He didn't
Yeah.
leave. Like that was good.
Yeah.
He
But
did
an hour is
good.
long.
The Tony, he did well.
yeah.
He
Tony,
knows how,
well, I
he
mean,
knows
look
how
at
to
that guy.
move. He's fit.
Guy's an
you know.
Adonis.
Yeah.
Guy's an Adonis.
He definitely works for it.
Do you guys own the gym
Well,
together?
that's a lot more work than I'm willing to put in, you know.
Did you see it?
No,
No,
we
I
didn't
just
get
walked
to
in.
see
Okay,
the
I'll take
gym.
you
We
after.
just came in.
Yeah.
So the gym is in this building?
Yep.
Yeah, in
Yes.
the back.
Okay, obviously.
It's all in this building.
Yeah, I thought so. That's what it sounded like.
And what's on the other side? Not that we didn't talk about it.
Music studio.
Okay.
It's where Jesse makes magic.
Oh, God.
Try anyway.
He just doesn't release it to show anybody. So there's 9,000 songs in the bank.
His private collection.
Secrets.
Way more talented at that than yoga.
That's probably true.
Probably.
That's probably true.
Is the name of your place the same in both places? Is it like a 1 and 2? What's the name of the place?
Just Breathe Yoga.
Just
yeah.
Breathe.
And
You
they're
got two
both-
spots?
Just breathe. Yeah.
It was
Where's
in
the
the
other one?
goddamn title. Just breathe. I knew breathe.
Just breathe yoga. Sayville.
Okay. Which one's the first one?
Sayville.
Okay.
Yeah, Sayville. Yeah, 10 years. It's 10 years now. So 10 years ago, I was, bless you, I was teaching for the original owner, and she wanted to sell the business. And then we did a big thing, and then a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Massapequa's,
And
it was a
Massapequa
year
opened.
October, so we're like a year and a half in at this point. But was a hot yoga studio for maybe like 9 years or so. And then it shut down with COVID, and the owner decided to not reopen, and then it just sat there.
So you guys are the guys that go in, turn them around, and make them better. I like that.
I mean,
good.
so
It's a good
far,
move.
so
The yoga
good,
turnaround
you know?
artists.
It's definitely picking up. We've gotten super busy, you know, within the last 6 months or so, and it looks like it's gonna be what we hoped.
That's
know?
great.
How long have you both been doing this for?
I've been teaching for 17 years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I taught like all over. Like I managed a studio right out of my training for 2 years, and then I broke off and I just started teaching. And when COVID hit, I was in 11 studios teaching 22 or 23 classes a week. So I would just bounce from one studio to another, sometimes 3-4 studios a day. And it was great. I mean, I got a lot of experience. I got my name out there, which I think only helped us opening, you know.
course.
And
Which, by the way, Jesse, best yoga instructor on Long Island.
Oh, yeah?
yeah,
That's
Chris
cool.
Holstrom.
yeah, that's me.
It's very cool. An award's an award.
Yeah, exactly.
We could go anywhere. It's the funniest thing. Like, we're in Nashville. Chris!
That's great.
Like,
That's
across
awesome.
the bar, people are screaming. I took Bikram with you 10 years ago.
I can imagine you meet a ton of people. A
Yeah.
ton of people.
I mean,
Like,
you know,
yeah.
we can cross paths with over 100 people a day,
Right.
you know, just coming into the studio and practicing. You know?
How long have you been doing it?
13 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, I left corporate America about 13 years ago.
What were you doing
Did
in
you have
corporate
like a
America?
switch? Oh, go ahead. What were you doing in corporate America?
I was doing corporate sales, so I was selling like specified goods for subsidiary Berkshire Hathaway. So I was working for Shaw Industries, and I was always in corporate sales and like public speaking and stuff like that. And I just always loved yoga. That was it.
It's better than corporate sales, I think.
100%. It's weird though, because you see it's like a weird thing. You see the people, like your practitioners, but you see them daily. And you don't realize, like, they become they're your family. It's your circadian rhythm. Every day you wake up, right? And we see some people 6 days a week.
Right.
Interesting.
And Sayville, I think I taught the 6:30 and the 8 for Cat this week. I had 140 people over 2 classes.
Wow.
Like 138 or something over 2 classes. And a lot of these people come every day. Mm-hmm. You know everything about them. And it's just this like wild thing. And like being in corporate America, I never thought it would prepare me the way it did, just to like be in the middle of it. I mean, owning a business is amazing, and it's also like
the worst.
And it, you know,
you guys can relate.
Always.
I got a bunch of them.
You're just exhausted.
Today they all suck. Today they might be a little bit better tomorrow.
On a daily basis.
It's just tough.
And then you add the employees in, and then everything else. But but also everything's the blessing.
Yeah, there's a cost to everything.
You know, everybody's the blessing.
What was like the movement to be like, I want to get out of corporate America and I want to go with this?
I lost a ton of money trying to open up a yoga studio on Jericho Turnpike. I lost my life savings.
Really?
Yeah. And the town wanted me to rip out the entire parking lot and redo the entire septic system. And then Huntington came in with water rights. They wanted me to buy $250,000 worth of water rights because they rezoned the area. Then the owner of Sayville came to me and was like, I just want money in a brown paper bag and I'm going to walk out. And I was like, we have to do a closing, like whatever it was at the time. Gave her half the money in a brown paper bag, half of it the lawyers took care of. And then that was it. And then all of a sudden, Sayville got busy over 6 months. And I got lucky because my boss tried to keep me under contract. And I was like, I can't. We're so busy. I got to be at the business every day. And then that was it. I just turned out. I never had to turn back.
Wow.
Every business story goes that way. You almost shit the bed. You almost went out, you know, $250,000 bill. And the next thing you know, you just hang on one more day and then boom,
stress.
There it goes. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's a lot of stress.
You know what? I don't know. Money, it's an energy, right? It comes and it goes. Money's the energy. It's like, it does, and unless it's like the people.
You can't take it too seriously.
Yeah, unless it's like the people, like nothing else is crazy now, right? I don't have money.
What do you say?
I don't have money.
And I said, neither do I.
Speak for yourself, girl.
But I know what you mean.
Thanks for the humbling, Chris. Thank you.
This room is divided beautifully.
I've heard.
No, but it's true though. You can't take money too seriously because money's not real.
I get in this argument with him all the time.
It's the truth.
It's real.
Money's not real. Money all has to do with the way you see the world.
Yeah, we need a Bikram class on that.
I'll give you a Bikram class on that. But you're not going to want to do the things that you got to do.
What's the best thing?
Let's light some cigars at $100 bills.
Seriously, yeah. Perfect. I'll steal it, burn it out, put it in my pocket. What's the best thing that comes out of teaching either a class or getting to know the people? Like what's the most that you get out of it besides the money? Obviously. Like, what's the reward? I'm on the side.
I would say that when someone leaves and they're just happy, they're just in a sense of relief, and they're like, they just thank you. You gave me like an hour of my own time today,
right?
And you just see people be able to take that time for themselves and come.
Yeah. I like the community aspect of it. I'm very big on creating that, and I like to talk to people, and I like to watch the students get to know each other, and like especially Massapequa being so new. Like when we first opened, we're teaching classes that have 4 people in them, 7 people in them, and then we have this huge room and everybody's scattered and they're not, no one really, it's quiet in the studio like before and after class. And we do a thing in Sayville and Massapequa and Just Breathe. in May, the May challenge. And I think that's when our community really started turning around, where people get a discounted month and then they take as many classes as they can. And there's prizes and little things that we do throughout the month to give people, and it kind of built a momentum. And then, you know, a lot of people were in it, and then everybody's showing up every day and they're seeing people every day. So they start saying hi, and they start, you know, oh, Nicole's 4:30 yesterday was so hard, and I know, and whatever. Are you coming to, what time are you coming tomorrow? And like, now there's like there's people are friends, you know, like, you know, that's like, cool. And there's
do you guys split up the gym, like the gyms, like you do Sayville, you do Massapequa? Is that how you guys do it? Or it's blended?
We blend as much as we can. Yeah. I mean, Chris is so loved in Sayville that it was like, please come back and at least teach 2 a week, because the community like missed him.
Yeah, I can.
It's like missing their brother. They wanted, you know, him there. And then I'm trying to get into Massapequa as much as possible, and I'm teaching more now there, and I'm there like 3 days a week. But
are you guys the only 2 instructors?
No. Oh, we would never be able to. Yeah. We have like 24.
Oh wow! Oh shit. Yeah.
Well, Sayville's I think Massapequa's schedule is like 38 classes a week, and Sayville's schedule is probably up to 58.
Yeah, I was shocked by that as well.
Yeah, so
I was shocked by that as well.
That's
so some of our teachers teach 5, 6 classes a week. Some come in for just 1 a week. You know, I teach about 12 or something. 12.
Yeah, you're at like 12.
But you know, this is all I do. Yeah.
I can imagine though, if somebody's taking a class with you for 7 months and then all of a sudden you leave, that would be odd.
Yeah, I mean, every time that I've ever left a studio or, you know, stopped teaching even a time slot, like I kind of feel like I'm going through a divorce, right. You know? And that was one thing that was hard when like we started reopening from COVID, because I was in so many studios and I was living in Bayport at the time. And I wasn't teaching at any. I gave up like 9 studios, and like letting them know that I wasn't coming back was... You know, it was hard because some of them I've been teaching at for a decade, you know, and I had really close relationships with a couple of the studio owners that were there. And, you know, that it was always hard not to go back and, you know, and see the people and, you know, reconnect. So, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's
we had Zoom through the entire pandemic as well. And it was actually a pretty beautiful time, although for what everyone was going through, because like everyone would get on Zoom, right, every day.
Yeah.
And we would like be on the classes with each other every morning. We would still have 6 classes a day, and everybody would be there. And then afterwards we would break everybody out to talk and stay on and like connect. And like we had such a strong community during that time.
Yeah, you guys were shut down. Like you couldn't do nothing.
Oh,
right?
Group fitness we thought was dead. Yeah. If you would have asked people like if we would have ever been able to open up another studio after COVID, like everyone was telling me, shut the doors, get out of your lease, you're done. Yeah. Hot yoga, you're never coming back. Like, are you effing crazy? You think you're gonna get your bill? Well, I don't even know why you're trying. And I'd be like sitting there and I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck
but
you, cool.
A lot of people
you have to say that. Those people, those are the history never talks about those people.
Yeah.
Those people always get left behind.
But everybody loves
like,
the place. And like I was saying, like it's some people's social hour, you know? So like people were calling up and saying like, still charge my membership. Like, don't like keep me on my auto pay and like.
And begging just to walk through the studio.
Yeah.
They were like, can you open the studio just so we can come through?
Yeah.
And walk through. I just want to bring my kids somewhere today. Can I take them into the yoga studio? Like, right?
It was a crazy time, man. That's the reason why we have the gym here, is because the place I was training at, they lost their lease or something. And they closed down. And I was like, I have space here. Fuck it. Let's just throw the mats down. And that's kind of how it went. We never stopped.
Isn't it beautiful, though?
No chance, man.
You can't think.
Can't stop.
Thinking. He never thinks.
Thinking like shuts you down. You just like, I'm just always engulfed.
Bad for you.
Overthinking definitely can get you.
I overthink, and well, it's funny because I'll just go and I'll rip walls out. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm like, it's a masonry firewall. Rip it down. We need another room. Like, I don't give a shit. The guys are coming at midnight. They're working all night. And that's how the difference is. And then I'll overthink the stupidest shit where I'm like, bitch is talking about me. I don't know what's going on. He's like, relax. Why are you thinking? Like, and I'm like, I'm going to rip out 2 bathrooms now. I'll talk to you later. It's funny how you do that.
Well, every person like that needs a person like the other way. You know what I mean? Like that's what partnerships are all about. Teams are all about. Not everybody can be ripping out the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be, watching around the corner.
Yeah. It kind of takes me a little bit more to get riled up and dramatic.
I belong to this business group, and it's like a CEO group. And when you join it, they make you do like this behavioral assessment. And we meet once a month, and everybody has like their behavioral assessment, like your player card almost, like in front of you. It's like a group of like 9-10 people. We meet once a month. And what's really interesting about it is that as you start to get to know people in this format, you start to see like the type of personality characteristics, like they go kind of part and parcel with the way people are and the way people live and the way people make decisions. And it's a cool thing because it's when you don't have any words or like numbers to put to it, it's like, well, why are you this way and why am I that way? And like, why does this one think like this? And why is this easy for him, but it's really hard for her? But like everybody's built a different way and everybody 100%. Has a different way of processing, and like knowing that and having, understanding of what those things are, and then helps you kind of understand other people a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that shows up on people's mats too when they're practicing. The people that they come in and they just have like their shit is everywhere and their towels are disheveled, and they have like 4 bottles of water and like one's frozen and one isn't frozen. Then they have the electrolyte water, and then they're like mixing cocktails like throughout the class, and like and then you have the person that comes in and it's like mat towel, and they're just like, here I am, and like ready to go, or people that like they can't like not have their phone with them, or or it's they walk in the studio, they have minimal stuff, and then the person that comes in, they have like 7 bags, so like so it's it shows up there as well.
The everyday. I left my coffee mug, my cell phone, my towel, my mat, my daughter's notebook. Can I come back to the studio? Yes. I have it all in my office. Yes.
Exactly.
That's funny.
There's always the people that leave things behind, and it's just you can kind of see like throughout their day, they probably like, where did I put that? Where is that? Like, and you're like, there's your sunglasses on your head.
Well, I appreciate the new nickname. I'm definitely going with King Pigeon.
King Pigeon.
I mean, it's solid.
Yeah,
so good. It's a solid
You need to start a whole new Instagram. Like whatever you have going on, cancel it.
It's over. It's actually just beginning.
Beginning. Get him a Sanskrit tattoo.
So you're just reborn. 100%.
How do you guys do? Is memberships all just monthly, or do you guys like sell like class packs and stuff like that? Like, how do you do what you do?
Yeah, we have both, where it depends on how often you want to come, where you can buy a group of classes, or you can go unlimited, how often or your commitment level, if you want to, sign up for 6 months or 3 months, or go on a membership, like an auto plan. So yeah, but our first time to the studio is $40 for a 2 weeks unlimited, which is great for people that never did it, because it gives them a chance to kind of check it out and then figure out what to do with it from there.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, so you can kind of see how it fits in your schedule, and then if you want to incorporate it with your gym schedule or just be full time, it's yeah. So
where are both of you guys from? Because both of you look very like familiar, as if like I've met both of you. Not necessarily together, but
yeah. I'm from Long Beach. I grew up in Long Beach. Yeah, west end of Long Beach, causing trouble.
Are you a Lindenhurst guy with these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota. Totally. Could have been at Minnesota's together.
Levittown.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything looks the same. Isn't Levittown the town where everything looks the same?
The houses do.
The old houses. Right? Not every person.
Yeah, everybody looks the same.
I didn't say everybody.
They all look like
everything.
There's like 100,000 people look just like us.
That's a scary town.
Levittown.
scary looking sound.
And they're all doing king pigeon on their front porch.
It's a sign. It means something.
Hey, it's not an easy pose.
It's not.
Yeah.
Wasn't easy, Jesse. I didn't see you do it.
I probably didn't do it.
You didn't do it because you couldn't reach.
I was thinking about what the next thing
was. Talking
the next
too
thing
much.
was.
talking too much.
No, I can get zen. I can. I just not when you're around.
I know. That's why we do it. That's why we do it.
That's
What
why he
temperature
stays
do
in
you
here.
keep the gym? Let's keep it warm, right? No.
No, I mean, not like, yeah, in the wintertime, we pump that shit hard. We go like 75 to 80,
Okay.
and we sweat it out. And then we have no air conditioning for the summer. So
You
it's
have no
fucking
air conditioner?
Slip
Or you
and
do?
slide in there when we're really going for it.
Gross.
Yeah, I would think it would give you better movement if you guys were keeping the environment a little
Hot?
hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Wild. And I don't like doing anything in the summer, let alone walking into that room. That's what it felt like. It felt like I was on my porch in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't mind sweating. I don't mind, some people freak out about
I
that.
liked it when it was happening, but as soon as you walk into that, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
No, you
Well,
were
it takes
just
a moment
afraid.
to kind of get used to it. and
Well, I
see
didn't
it.
know what to expect.
You were like,
What did
he
what
walked
did
in
you
here getting the
think?
cameras ready, and he had like this face on.
Yeah, that's
that
my
was
face
like-
before I do something I don't really want
Like
to do.
a
That
face
I'm nervous about.
what
But now you know what to expect. So the
Right.
next time
It
you
was the
walk
same
in,
thing for the
and-
cold plunge. I
Yeah.
stared at the cold plunge pool for a solid 4 minutes before I went in it.
How cold was it, the cold plunge?
I don't know, 50s, right?
No.
Are you
It was
sure?
yes, I'm positive.
Are you
It was in the
positive?
40s, 100%.
I feel like you guys.
Because you were like, oh, it's a little colder than I thought it was.
I feel like you guys were in the 50s.
No, I think I want to say it was like 40, 48 or something like that. No, I want to say it was 42.
I don't think it was 42.
Yeah.
So do you guys
need
just
an answer.
what is the thing? They like
They try
personal
and make me
development
look like an
challenges.
asshole.
Like,
What
what has been what has been your
It's
hardest
almost like
challenge
Jackass
thus far?
in a way.
We really just started.
Yeah, we just started. This
Like,
was the second one.
We've had this podcast for a long time, but we really just started I mean, John and I are both into personal development, and I've been training for a long time, and he's been like trying to get his health together and exercise, and we're always kind of razzing him because
Yeah, and then they had guests for like 4 months that were all about health and perfect life, and I smoke cigarettes and I work 20 out of the 24 hours.
because he's
a
the
day.
only guy. He's the only guy that's got a
Not
job.
saying I'm the only guy. I'm not saying I'm the only guy. But that's where it stemmed from. And they beat up on me, and I challenged him to a boxing match October 4th. Come and see it. It's going to be on the lawn, I think.
Is that really happening? 'Cause I
100%. Yes.
We're
3
here.
rounds.
We're coming.
3
That
rounds.
sounds like a great time.
That's it. 3. That's all.
I don't know. I think so. All
right.
I don't know how much I'm
Well,
going
it's
to
events we make it that long.
Exactly.
Like you never know what's going to happen in those first two.
I feel like all like celebrity boxing matches are 3 rounds. That's it. They don't go longer than that.
We just became
They don't-
celebrities?
Well, I just made that up. All right,
I'll take it.
Mr. Rocky and Mr. T only went 3 rounds.
That was a movie. That was a movie.
Yeah, but we just kind of what we're trying to do right now is I mean, our whole podcast is just like we have no format, we have no we don't like to get people on so that they can just pitch themselves, and we just like cool people doing cool shit, and we're starting to get into the thought process of going to places and experiencing what's going on, and then inviting people on and just kind of community building like what you're talking about.
100%.
But all about the things that we like and we're interested in and we think are funny and cool and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's our whole format. There's nothing anything deeper than that. If it's cool, if we like it, if it's fun, it's interesting.
We'll try it.
Loose.
Yeah.
Loose.
Yeah.
Loose.
Loose.
Yes.
Loose.
Very much so.
Loose gooses over here.
I appreciate you letting all of us in there.
Yeah. It's
Who
good.
reached out to you? John reached out?
John, I would suppose it was John.
I think so.
Yeah,
think
I
it
mean, that was all you. You just were
Yeah.
like, there's a group of people coming and you're going to teach a class. And I was like, awesome. Let's see how this goes.
can't imagine how he
even
sold
that
it.
morning,
Well, you
she
guys
came to the
requested
studio and I was
26
like,
and
this
2,
could
and
go
he's like
either
the
really
number
good
one
or really
instructor on
bad. Like,
Island.
that's
So
it.
I
I
was
just want to
like,
let you
all right.
know.
What's 26 and 2? That's
Bikram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was like a Bikram request at first, and so I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, probably to make it like the hardest, one of the harder ones, right? That was probably what John was thinking in his head.
Yeah, it's possible. But yeah.
How do we kill somebody?
Yeah. I
want to come back
because
because I stretched, but not enough. And it would definitely help me. Overall, lately I've been super tight.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're in a room for an hour and your only, intention is to stretch, you're gonna,
He can't come until after October 4th, though, so he's gonna have to go back then.
He's got to get. That's it. He's training.
Still eating pints
No,
of ice
he
cream?
doesn't want any. I can't have any.
He's allowed to train, but he's not allowed to have a trainer.
Oh.
I'm allowed to have trainers.
Okay.
I can't have any edge.
I'm the underdog.
Set your boundary, Kurt.
Well, I mean, he's
Set your boundary.
he's the one that has jiu-jitsu experience. He's in shape. He's fit. There's rules.
So are you coming in, or are we training you?
I have to get a little bit of training from everybody on every aspect.
Yeah,
So
you just got to get.
I
his
would
tempo.
like to.
Right.
I want to bring my wife. Honestly, I want to do. I would like to do it again. I like the sweat.
her
The
in.
sweat was cool. I like that part of it. Really made you feel like you did something.
Yeah. You definitely feel accomplished when you
Towards
walk.
the end of the day.
When you get out
It
of one
did.
of those classes, you definitely feel accomplished.
I will
Like,
admit though, I was
just-
dead tired for 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, yeah. I was tired.
All right.
Well, not achy though, but I was tired.
Yeah.
You probably haven't sweat like that in maybe
Not
your
that
whole
much.
life.
Not that much. My whole life you had to add in. I'm sure I sweat like that in my lifetime. At some point, I don't know. I'm sure it was something really, really hot. I
Once.
sweat all day. I was probably outside for 8 hours and I was sweating all day at one point.
Working in the sun. Working in the sun.
But in a while, Jesse, yes.
In a while,
That
in
was
a
the
while,
first
all
time in a while.
Okay. All right.
All right. I appreciate it. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks
totally.
for
Thank you
coming.
guys for
Appreciate you
having
guys
us.
having us.
Yeah,
Thanks
totally.
for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming here.